The story begins with an organization named Alice. This is a group that works with time travel and has been operating since 2015. One of their members, Yoon Tae-yi, travels from 2015 all the way back to the year 1992. Her mission is to find a very special book written by a professor. In this book, it is explained how time travel will eventually come to an end. Because of this important information, the team from Alice has come to 1992 to retrieve it. They arrive at the home of Dr. Chung, but they are not the first ones there. A man named Lee Se-yoon has already reached the house to get the book. He works for another secret group that organizes illegal time travel. This rival group is led by someone known only as Teacher, a mysterious figure whose real identity is unknown. Sensing danger, Dr. Chang quickly tears the last page from the book and secretly gives it to his young daughter to hide. Lee Se-yoon kills Dr. Chang, but just then, the couple from Alice arrives. They manage to take the book and save the little girl. Soon the police arrive, arrest Lee Se-yoon, and the couple runs away with the book. At this point, the couple has no idea that they are about to become parents. Yoon Tae-yi is pregnant. When her partner Min Hyuk finds out, he tells her to have an abortion because time traveling during pregnancy is extremely dangerous. But Yoon Tae-yi makes a different choice. She writes Min Hyuk a letter saying she will keep the baby, then runs away with the book containing the prophecy. Min Hyuk is heartbroken when he sees her decision, and he returns to 2015. Meanwhile, Yoon Tae-yi changes her name to Park Sung-young and gives birth to a son, Jin Gyum. But because of the side effects of time travel, Jin Gyum is not like other children. He has a condition that makes it very hard for him to feel or show emotions. Raising him is difficult, but Sung-young does her best. Over time, Sung-young becomes seriously ill and is hospitalized. Jin Gyum, focused on his school routine, doesn't even go to visit her, saying he has to attend classes the next day. Years later, Jin Gyum is in high school when a tragedy occurs. A girl from his school dies after falling from the roof, and because Jin Gyum was the only one there at the time, he is accused of her murder. His mother works tirelessly to prove his innocence. Eventually, a witness comes forward and confirms that Jin Gyum did not push the girl. The charges are dropped, and in the process, he forms a new friendship. Do-yeon, the same classmate who first testified against him, changes her mind, starts to like him, and they become friends. It was Jin Gyum's mother's birthday, and she wanted to celebrate it with her son. They spent some time together, and then she went out to buy drinks. When she didn't return for a long time, Jin Gyum went out to look for her. His mother had been followed by a drone with the word Alice on it. She ran away from it and managed to return home. But when Jin Gyum came back from searching, he found that his mother had been murdered. Before dying, she told Jin Gyum something strange, that if he ever saw her again in the future, he should pretend not to know her. Nobody knew who the killer was. After his mother's death, Jin Gyum started living with Mr. Go, a policeman he respected like a father. Inspired by him, Jin Gyum grew up and became a policeman himself, determined to find his mother's killer. The story then moves to the year 2020. Jin Gyum is now a detective, fearless and ready to take risks to solve cases. One day he works on a case involving the kidnapping of a little girl. Later, the girl is found, and she says she had been with her mother, but strangely, her mother wasn't actually there. While investigating, Jin Gyum sees the same drone he saw the night his mother died. He follows it and sees a woman who looks exactly like his mother. In that moment, a truck nearly hits him, but it stops on its own, as if by some invisible force. Jin Gyum doesn't realize it, but it was something he controlled himself. Even so, he ends up in an accident. Later, Jin Gyum tries to find out more about the drone. Meanwhile, a man kills someone in a hotel. Jin Gyum arrives there and learns about the murder. He reports it to the police and discovers that the killer is still in the hotel. Jin Gyum becomes suspicious and asks the man for his ID. The ID shows that he should only be a 5-year-old child, clearly impossible. Jin Gyum arrests him, but suddenly the lights in the parking lot go out and smoke fills the area. In the chaos, a man attacks Jin Gyum. This man is actually Min Hyuk, Jin Gyum's father, though neither of them knows it yet. Min Hyuk escapes, taking with him some people from Alice. These people are Alice's clients, people who pay to travel through time. The murderer in the hotel was one of these clients. The man Jin Gyum had arrested was actually from the future, but in the present year 2020, his younger self was only a 5-year-old child. In his original timeline, he had been abused and tortured by his older brother. To get revenge, he came to 2020 and killed that brother. When Min Hyuk found out, he was furious. In Alice, killing was strictly forbidden. Min Hyuk ordered that the man be sent back to his own time. But this man was unstable and still angry at Jin Gyum for arresting him earlier. He decided to take revenge. He waited for the right moment, then went to Jin Gyum's house to kill him. Time travelers like him from Alice's world use special time cards to travel between years. When he attacked, Jin Gyum fought back, shot him, and arrested him again. Alice headquarters soon received news that their client had been arrested for a second time and was now in the hospital. At Alice, Min Hyuk had two close colleagues, Gi Cheol and Shi Young. Min Hyuk still deeply loved Yoon Tae-yi and missed her. However, he had heard through Alice that Yoon Tae-yi had married someone else in the past and was happily settled. Believing this, Min Hyuk thought she had betrayed him. What he didn't know was the truth. Yoon Tae-yi was dead, and Jin Gyum was actually her son. Min Hyuk went to the hospital where the arrested man was being held and helped him escape. After this, the Alice team discovered that the man's time card was missing. Soon they found out it was with Jin Gyum. Jin Gyum looked at the card and realized his mother once had a card just like it. Wanting to learn more, he took it to a physics professor. To his shock, the professor was Yoon Tae-yi, who looked exactly like his late mother. The moment he saw her, he hugged her, convinced she really was his mom. Throughout the drama, the story keeps playing with this question. Is Professor Yoon Tae-yi actually Jin Gyum's mother, or is she a completely different person who just happens to look like her? The real answer is revealed only when you watch the entire series. When Professor Yoon Tae-yi meets Jin Gyum, she ends up slapping him. Later, Jin Gyum learns more about her life. She has her own parents and a younger sister, which makes him wonder even more if she really could be his mother. Soon after, people from Alice attack Jin Gyum again, trying to take the time card from him. He manages to fight them off, but then his father, Min Hyuk, shows up. With one quick move, Min Hyuk knocks him down, and father and son clash fiercely once again, still not realizing their family connection. Jin Gyum starts to suspect that Alice's people may have been involved in his mother's murder. The bullet used to kill her was special, and her killer's gun doesn't exist in the present time. Jin Gyum remembers seeing Min Hyuk with the same type of weapon, one that is commonly used by Alice agents. Later, Jin Gyum meets Professor Yoon Tae-yi again and asks her if she believes in time travel. She says yes, so he gives her his mother's time card to research further. Meanwhile, the truth about the little girl from the earlier kidnapping case is revealed. She had claimed to be with her mother, but in reality, she was with a future version of her mother, a client of Alice who could time travel. This future version wanted to stay with her daughter so badly that she killed her present-day self. The police later discover the body of the present-day mother. During the investigation, Mr. Go goes to the girl's home, where the future mother attacks him. He is badly injured and hospitalized. This devastates Jin Gyum, as Mr. Go is like a father to him. Alice agents eventually catch the future mother because she is one of their clients and send her back to her own time. This case once again brings Jin Gyum face to face with Min Hyuk. In the meantime, Jin Gyum keeps meeting with Professor Yoon Tae-yi about the time card and time travel. Over time, he becomes convinced that she is not his mother. While they share many similarities, there are also key differences. There's also tension between Professor Yoon Tae-yi and Jin Gyum's best friend Do-yeon. Do-yeon cares deeply for Jin Gyum and is protective of him around the professor. The two women often have small, jealous arguments over him, like rivals in a love triangle. Jin Gyum meets Seok Oh-won, the director of Professor Yoon Tae's institute, and is shocked. A witness had seen Seok near his mother's murder scene. Seok denies it, and with the professor's book in Seok's possession, Jin Gyum can't act against him. One day, Yoon Tae tells Jin Gyum that a drone is hovering outside her window. Rushing to protect her, he gets into an accident and is suddenly transported back to 2010, the year his mother was killed. In the past, he first spots Professor Yoon Tae at college, then goes to see his real mother. That night is the night of her murder. She leaves to buy a drink, and Jin Gyum tries to catch the killer. He sees Director Seok and captures him, but Seok urges him to go save his mother instead. Jin Gyum runs home but finds his mother already wounded. She recognizes her grown son, expresses her happiness, and then, before dying, activates the time card to send him back to 2020. Back in the present, Jin Gyum learns he had been missing for a week, though only a short time had passed for him in the past. Determined to catch her killer, he starts digging into her past, and now also wants to learn about his father. Meanwhile, Min Hyuk is unaware of all this. Alice's agents discover another time card mentioned in the professor's work. Sure Young, while investigating, spots Yoon Tae on a drone feed and is shocked. Min Hyuk later visits Professor Yoon Tae to get the time card. Seeing her leaves him emotional. She looks like the Yoon Tae he loved, but isn't the same person. Jin Gyum arrives, and father and son clash again, still not knowing the truth. Min Hyuk takes the time card and leaves. The next day, Min Hyuk visits Professor Yoon Tae again, warning her to stay away from dangerous matters. Soon after, Jin Gyum arrives, overpowers Min Hyuk, and arrests him. Meanwhile, another illegal time travel group, led by a figure known as the Master, begins a killing spree. They target Alice agents and even murder one of Professor Yoon Tae's friends, who had been researching the time card with her. While investigating these cases and his mother's past, Jin Gyum visits Lee Seong in prison, the same man who, back in 1992, tried to steal the prophecy book, and was caught. Lee Seong tells him about the prophecy book his mother had, which is now in the hands of director Seok. Jin Gyum questions Min Hyuk about his mother and the book, but Min Hyuk insists he doesn't know her. Since Jin Gyum doesn't reveal his mother's real name, Min Hyuk remains unaware of who she is. Alice's agents soon break Min Hyuk out of jail. Min Hyuk goes straight to Yoon Tae, but one of the master's men arrives there first, intending to kill her. Min Hyuk reaches just in time to save her. Jin Gyum also shows up, but in the chaos, the killer escapes with the time travel card. Min Hyuk later sees Jin Gyum with Yoon Tae and quietly leaves. Soon, Jin Gyum discovers that Professor Yoon Tae is actually the daughter of Dr. Chung, the man murdered in the past over the prophecy book. Director Seok arranges to meet Jin Gyum to talk about the book, but before they can meet, Seok is kidnapped. The shocking twist? The kidnapper is none other than Mr. Go, Jin Gyum's father figure, revealing that he too works for the same master responsible for the series of murders. Jin Gyum brings Professor Yoon Tae to stay at his house so he can protect her. They live together happily, almost like a family. But soon, Do-yeon also moves in. Whenever she sees Jin Gyum and Yoon Tae in close or awkward moments, her jealousy grows. Out of insecurity, she decides to stay with them as well. One day, the murderer targeting Yoon Tae finds Jin Gyum's house. Instead of killing her there, he kidnaps her and takes her to a tall building, intending to throw her from the terrace. Tracing her location, Jin Gyum rushes there and sees the killer activating his time card. Jin Gyum fires his gun, and both the killer and Yoon Tae fall from the terrace. The killer dies, but Yoon Tae is nowhere to be found. Because the time card was active, Yoon Tae is transported into the year 2021. There she learns the heartbreaking news that Jin Gyum has already died. Overcome with grief, she goes to meet Dr. Seok, who tells her that she has the missing last page of the prophecy book. If she wants to save Jin Gyum, she must find his mother's murderer. While searching, Yoon Tae discovers a USB drive in Jin Gyum's belongings containing video footage of Mr. Go. Meanwhile, Jin Gyum encounters Shur Young and realizes she is the same woman he saw at his mother's funeral. He questions her about Yoon Tae, but Shur Young tells him, "She is not your mother." Jin Gyum replies that it doesn't matter. He will protect her anyway. Shur Young then attacks and wounds him, preparing to kill him. But in that moment, Jin Gyum freezes time once again. This is when he fully understands his special ability. He can control time. Soon after, Professor Yoon Tae returns to her own time, but she chooses not to tell Jin Gyum about his approaching death. Meanwhile, Min Hyuk begins his own investigation within Alice. He meets Lee Seong and soon uncovers the painful truth. The Yoon Tae he loved is dead, and Jin Gyum is his son. Heartbroken, Min Hyuk visits Yoon Tae's grave, shedding tears and vowing to find her killer and protect Jin Gyum. He goes to see his son, who is with Professor Yoon Tae and has fallen unconscious due to the side effects of time travel. Min Hyuk visits quietly, but doesn't reveal the truth about their relationship. Later, Min Hyuk confronts Seong angrily for hiding the truth about Yoon Tae from him. In the heat of the moment, Seong admits she did it because she loves Min Hyuk and wanted him for herself. Lee Seong is eventually released from prison. He calls Jin Gyum, claiming to know the identity of the master, the one responsible for his mother's death, and urges him to come quickly to protect him. But before Jin Gyum can arrive, Min Hyuk reaches Lee Seong and finds him already dead. When Jin Gyum arrives, he initially suspects Min Hyuk of murder, but later realizes Lee Seong had been dead for hours. Reviewing investigation footage, Jin Gyum sees that Mr. Go was in the same building where Lee Seong was killed. At the same time, Professor Yoon Tae grows suspicious of Mr. Go after noticing the same M mark on his body that all of the master's men have. She warns Jin Gyum, but he refuses to believe it and even throws away the USB evidence against Mr. Go because of his deep trust in him. Soon after, Director Seok reappears at the Institute, but this is not the same Seok who supported Jin Gyum and was linked to his mother. This Seok is from another dimension and is far more dangerous. He murders the good Director Seok. It's also revealed that Gi Cheol, Min Hyuk's friend in Alice, was the one who killed Lee Seong and is secretly working for the master. When Shur Young investigates Lee Seong's death, she discovers Gi Cheol's involvement. Gi Cheol then approaches Seong, asking her to join him. He promises to help her win Min Hyuk's love, but warns that if she refuses, he will eliminate both Min Hyuk and her. Meanwhile, Mr. Go receives an order from the master to kill Jin Gyum. He takes Jin Gyum with him, but when the moment comes, he cannot do it. He loves Jin Gyum like his own son. Instead, he decides to face the master alone. Professor Yoon Tae also arrives during this confrontation. Then Mr. Go gets a call from Director Seok, who warns him that because he didn't kill Jin Gyum, both Jin Gyum and his wife will pay the price. Alarmed, Mr. Go rushes back, only to find Director Seok already there. Seok shoots Mr. Go and kills him. Jin Gyum is devastated by his death. It's then revealed how Mr. Go became connected to the master. This Mr. Go came from a different timeline. In his original life, his wife had died. Gi Sheol approached him with an offer, a chance to see his wife again. He sent Mr. Go into the past where he met his past self. That past version of Mr. Go was killed by a criminal, so the future Mr. Go took his place and lived in the past with his wife. Whether he came from another time or another dimension is left unclear. Later, Sha Young takes Mr. Go with her to target Professor Yoon Tae. Jin Gyum chases after them, and during the pursuit, Xiong's car crashes. Shu Young escapes, but Yoon Tae is badly injured. Jin Gyum runs to the car to pull her out, but the vehicle explodes. Instead of dying, the blast causes time travel. Jin Gyum and Yoon Tae are thrown back to the year 2010. Here, Professor Yoon Tae meets Jin Gyum's mother and remembers that after her father was murdered, Jin Gyum's mother had once taken her in and treated her like a daughter. However, when Jin Gyum's mother saw the last page of the prophecy book with Yoon Tae, she took it from her and left her at an orphanage. But now events in 2010 seem different. This version of young Jin Gyum behaves strangely. His friend Jo Young attacks Professor Yoon Tae, and she notices young Jin Gyum's phone on the ground. A clue that it was this 2010 version of Jin Gyum who attacked her. When she tells the present-day Jin Gyum, he is shocked, saying that in his own past this never happened. This suggests that they might not just be in the past, they could be in an alternate dimension. Throughout the series, it's never made fully clear whether they are only time traveling or also crossing into parallel worlds. Later, Professor Yoon Tae remembers what was written on the last page of the prophecy book. It said, "The one who opens the door of time will surely be punished. She will die at the hands of her own son." This means that Jin Gyum's mother, who opened the door of time, is destined to be killed by her son. When Jin Gyum hears this, he refuses to believe it, saying, "No, that can't happen. Why would I kill my own mother?" Suddenly, he begins hearing strange, distorted voices and collapses. Soon, his mother also arrives and explains that this is a side effect of time travel. Jin Gyum is hearing sounds from other dimensions. At the same time, we see that the Jin Gyum of 2010 is also experiencing the same disturbing symptoms, hearing strange noises and clearly in distress. Then Jin Gyum's mother reveals an even bigger truth to Yoon Tae about her parents. She explains that the prophecy book was first found with Yoon Tae's mother, who took it in 1992. Later, she married Yoon Tae's father. After Yoon Tae's mother died, the book remained with her father, the very same prophecy book we saw at the beginning of the story. Jin Gyum's parents had once visited that place, and when his mother saw Yoon Tae's father, she was shocked. The reason? Yoon Tae's father was actually Jin Gyum's maternal grandfather, and young Yoon Tae herself was the same person as Professor Yoon Tae. This means that the woman mentioned in the prophecy, the one who will be punished for opening time travel, is not only Jin Gyum's mother, but also Professor Yoon Tae, because in truth, they are the same person. The drama shows them as the same individual in one sense, yet also connected in different, complicated ways, blurring the lines between time, identity, and destiny. Professor Yoon Tae visits Jin Gyum's mother just before her death. To protect her, Jin Gyum's mother locks Yoon Tae in an upstairs storeroom. Yoon Tae insists there's a way to end time travel by resetting everything so that time travel and all travelers disappear. Meanwhile, Jin Gyum, determined to save his mother, meets director Seok, who tells him her fate cannot be changed. Jin Gyum rushes home, only to find his mother dead again, this time with the 2010 version of himself standing there, hands covered in blood. Furious, he grabs and strangles his younger self. Upstairs, Yoon Tae finds the prophecy book's last page, but the master appears, face hidden, and attacks her. She screams and Jin Gyum runs to help, only to be stabbed by the master's dagger. Suddenly, time shifts, and Yoon Tae and Jin Gyum are transported back to 2020. Yoon Tae collects blood from under her nails and gets it tested. It matches Jin Gyum's DNA. After being discharged from the hospital, Jin Gyum focuses on tracing the master's dagger to its owner. Min Hyuk visits, urging him to rest and let him handle the case, but Jin Gyum refuses, saying he's seen his mother die 3 times and will catch the killer himself. As Min Hyuk leaves, Jin Gyum tells him coldly, "You don't matter to me," revealing that he knows Min Hyuk is his father, though the drama never explains how he found out. Professor Yoon Tae meets Min Hyuk and asks if the Yoon Tae he knew had ever left him any clues or messages. Min Hyuk tells her she left nothing for him. It's then revealed that Professor Yoon Tae's memories have begun to mix with those of Jin Gyum's mother. The same is happening to Jin Gyum. His memories are merging with those of his other version, and he begins acting aggressively, almost like a villain. Professor Yoon Tae tells him that the master's DNA matched his own. At that moment, Jin Gyum hears strange noises again, loses control, and picks up his dagger to kill Yoon Tai. Overcome by the sounds, he attacks her, but Min Hyuk arrives in time to save her. Jin Gyum then turns on Min Hyuk, but when Yoon Tai calls out his name, he hesitates, feeling for a moment as though it was his mother's voice. Realizing what's happening to him, Jin Gyum tries to end his own life, but Yoon Tai stops him, telling him, "The Jin Gyum I know isn't like this. He protects me." Jin Gyum breaks down in tears and she hugs him, comforting him. Meanwhile, Sha Young goes to kill Jin Gyum, but Min Hyuk arrives and convinces her to leave. This makes Sha Young question her actions. She decides to tell Min Hyuk who really killed Yoon Tai, but before she can, she's shot. As she lies dying, she tells Min Hyuk about Alice's ties to a certain doctor and Gi Cheol and gives him Yoon Tai's final message. In that message, Tai urges Min Hyuk to protect their son. Overcome with emotion, Min Hyuk weeps in his car. Soon after, Do-yeon confesses her feelings to Jin Gyum, asking him to run away with her so they can live a normal life. She's afraid something terrible might happen to him, but Jin Gyum refuses. He won't stop until he finds the master. The people of Alice begin eliminating anyone who knows about time travel or the prophecy book. In the process, Jin Gyum's friend is attacked and killed, but Jin Gyum manages to save Do-yeon just in time by killing Gi Cheol. Soon after, Professor Yoon Tai is kidnapped. Jin Gyum demands her location from Min Hyuk and insists on going to Alice to rescue her. Min Hyuk warns him it's too dangerous, but Jin Gyum insists, reminding him that Min Hyuk was once his mother's lover and should help. Min Hyuk agrees, but on the way, he secretly slips Jin Gyum a pill that makes him lose consciousness. Apologizing, Min Hyuk says he has to be Jin Gyum's father for the first and last time, keeping him safe by going alone. At Alice, Min Hyuk speaks with director Seok about a riddle, a story of a mother who sacrificed herself to save her son from a monster. Then he meets Professor Yoon Tai, telling her he'll help her escape and that she should run far away with Jin Gyum. Min Hyuk points his gun at Seok's head, but Seok calmly tells him that Jin Gyum is already on his way. Min Hyuk insists it's impossible for a normal person to reach Alice, but Seok explains that Jin Gyum is no ordinary person. He can appear anywhere in the world. Meanwhile, we see Jin Gyum racing toward Alice. Seok suddenly shoots Min Hyuk. As Yoon Tai enters the room, Seok fires at her as well, but Min Hyuk shields her and takes the bullet. When Seok tries to shoot again, Jin Gyum bursts in and kills him. With his last breath, Seok tells Jin Gyum that the teacher is waiting for you. Jin Gyum turns to his wounded father and asks why he did this, regretting that he never got the chance to apologize to him. Min Hyuk, fading fast, recalls his memories with Yoon Tai back in 1992. In a flashback, we see Min Hyuk telling Yoon Tai that they should stay in the past and build a family together. Soon after, Min Hyuk dies. Jin Gyum then tells Yoon Tai to escape while he goes to confront the master, the one who killed his mother. Finally, the master appears. Jin Gyum points a gun at him and says, "It's been 10 years and now we meet." The master's face is revealed. He is the older version of Jin Gyum himself. Jin Gyum demands to know why he killed his mother. The older Jin Gyum replies that many years ago, he too had asked the same question to his own older version. Furious, Jin Gyum shouts that he is not a monster like him. The master pulls out an old gun to shoot him, but Professor Yoon Tai steps in front, warning that if he kills Jin Gyum, the prophecy will come true and the door of time will close. She recalls the riddle about a mother sacrificing herself to save her son from a monster. It's then shown that she bears the same mark on the back of her neck as Jin Gyum's mother. Realizing this, Jin Gyum softly says, "Mom." The older version fires, and Yoon Tai is shot. As she lies dying, Jin Gyum promises to fix everything, but she tells him not to interfere anymore. That time has no beginning or end, only people do. She urges him to leave. Jin Gyum cries as Yoon Tai dies in the same way his mother once did. The master remarks that this woman sacrifices herself every time. He raises his gun to kill Jin Gyum, but Jin Gyum vows that this time he will kill the master, save everyone he has harmed, and reset everything. With that, Jin Gyum time travels back to 2010, to the night his mother was killed. In 2010, Jin Gyum's mother meets director Seok and warns him to forget everything she told him about time travel. Meanwhile, Jin Gyum seeks out Mr. Go, asking for the master's location. Mr. Go claims he doesn't know. The moment of his mother's death approaches. Jin Gyum rushes to save her, but the evil director Seok captures him again. Mr. Go intervenes, freeing Jin Gyum, who runs toward home. When his mother sees the drone outside and hurries back, she finds the older version of her son, the master, waiting for her. The master blames her for opening the door to time travel, forcing him to kill countless people over the years. She accepts her punishment, but begs him to spare her son, not to let him become a monster. The master coldly replies that she made him this way. Jin Gyum arrives, ready to kill his older self, but his mother stops him, warning that doing so will destroy him too. The master calls her selfish and recounts the moment everything began. In 1992, he had traveled back to stop his own birth, urging his pregnant mother to kill the child. She refused and shot him instead, saying he was not her son. Wounded and rejected, he carried that pain for years, shaping the monster he became. Now in the present, the master accuses her again of being selfish. In a shocking moment, Professor Yoon Tae grabs Jin Gyum's gun and shoots herself. Jin Gyum's mother dies before his eyes once more. Enraged, Jin Gyum shoots his older self. As the master falls, time begins to reset. Alice collapses, and moments from Jin Gyum's life flash before him. He finds himself back on his mother's birthday, but this time, his teenage self is celebrating properly with her. When she goes out to buy drinks, he walks with her. She turns to look at him, and Jin Gyum silently says, "Mom, sorry it took so long, but I've protected you." He promises she will now be part of every happiness in his life. When he graduates, goes to college, earns his first salary. As the reset completes, even Jin Gyum himself fades away. In 2020, Professor Yoon Tae wakes up and remembers everything that happened. She sees a world where those who had died, like Mr. Go, are alive again. But in this new reality, no one remembers Jin Gyum. There is no trace of him. No one even knows who he is. Alice no longer exists, and Min Hyuk has also vanished from the story. Professor Yoon Tae lives quietly with her adopted family and sister, but she continues searching everywhere for Jin Gyum without success. One day she meets Do-yeon, who is now a reporter and wants to interview her. During their conversation, Yoon Tae hears about an architect whose designs are strangely similar to her own. This gives her hope. Maybe it's a clue to Jin Gyum's existence. She goes to meet this architect and finds that it is indeed Jin Gyum, though in this reality he's not a detective, but an architect. However, when he sees her, he doesn't recognize her and walks away. Later at his office, Jin Gyum looks at a half-finished sketch he once drew, a design originally made by Yoon Tae. He finishes it, then suddenly runs to his old house where Professor Yoon Tae is already waiting. Smiling, Jin Gyum tells her, "I'm sorry I made you wait so long." They smile warmly at each other, and the drama ends on a happy note. So while Alice closes with hope and reunion, many viewers were left puzzled by its ending. The story had several unanswered questions and mysteries that were never fully explained. But regardless, it gave us an emotional journey about love, time, and sacrifice. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.